Hedgehog. Hedgehog happiness. Um, you said, what do I think of Dungeons and Dragons? Well, I've never had the chance to play it. Um, uh, yes. So, I don't know much about it. But I think it is beautiful when people have the kinds of friends that they can play that with. I think there may be a few people that I know that play, but and I love them, and they love me too, but we're just different sort of people. That might be putting it lightly. Nobody comes to see me, and I don't have a car right now. And a trend that's been part of my life is somebody will say, "Hey, you know what? We should hang out." Okay, when? Silence. Ah, you didn't actually mean it. You just like the idea. Okay. Yeah, some people like my light, but they can't get too close. Otherwise, it'll burn through their bullshit. That may be more true than I even want to believe. So, yeah, I don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, but I love hearing about people's characters and all that. Never had the chance to play it. I guess that's all I can really say about it. Would I play it if I had the chance? Maybe. Um, I don't know that I'd be able to sit there and listen through all the rules, you know. They'd have to bring me in slowly. I'd sort of have to watch them, you know. I could pick up on it that way. But yeah, I think it's beautiful when people have the kinds of friends that they can play that with. I think it's beautiful. So it's outside my realm. No, I don't know that anybody's actually ever invited me to play. And part of that is I see through people's bullshit big time. And they kind of feel naked. And so I think that's why people tend to stay away from me. Everybody loves their precious little lies. It would be adorable if it wasn't so sad for them. Because I am Honest Thomas. I don't know if you've seen me say that. I made a vow to myself, with myself, uh, somewhere around January 2024. I am Honest Thomas forevermore. Self sustained, as it were. I guess while we're here, I'll just tell you what led me to that decision. I was looking around on threads, And there was somebody, I don't feel like I should mention her name. I feel like that would be rude. But she's a horror novelist. And she had been writing books that were strangely reminiscent to what I was experiencing at the time. So I was going through a hardcore spiritual awakening. That might be putting it lightly. And so yeah, the books that she's written strangely reminiscent to what I was experiencing. And I expressed my excitement to read her books. She didn't like that. Bam, blocked just like that. Startled the fuck out of her, I guess. Rubbed her all the wrong way. I was like, well, I'm not going to read your fucking books. Somebody expresses their excitement to look at what I do. Cool. Some people are strange like that. And it said on her profile, professional liar. I was like, you know what? I am honest Thomas. And I stayed that way. It took all year to work out I made sure not to lie anymore. But it took a year to work out my deceptive tendencies. Because I had always been deceptive in my life. To sneak around this or, get over on that or, It was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my entire life. Honest Thomas. And I'm so happy that all that happened that way. Because really, if she hadn't blocked me, just for me expressing my excitement, I might not have made that vow. And that's even better than reading a horror book. Nice. Yeah, people love their lies. It would almost be adorable if it wasn't so sad. I realized a lot of people lie simply because they lack the self-confidence to stand firm in who they are. Like a tree. Like a tree whose roots grow way deep. Like a diamond vein way down in the earth. I will not be moved. If there's something I ain't feeling, I ain't gonna do it. Because I know what'll happen if I try to go do something that I'm not feeling. Because stuff don't work for me the same way it does other people. If my heart, my intuition, my mighty I am presence tells me, don't do it, Thomas. You know what's going to happen. Oh yeah, I know what's going to happen. If every part of me says, don't do it, Thomas, and I go to do it, some weird shit's going to happen. And that may be one reason why I don't press to finding people to hang out with. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. I do my best to live by that. Seek? No. Chase? Absolutely not. Desperate? For what? When I am the very essence of all that I desire.
Excuse me.
A lot of people, when they see me, or when they see me online, they get a face full of their own garbage. Because I will not tell a lie. And it's tough motherfucking noogies for anybody that wants me to. Sorry, motherfucker. I left that life behind. There are other things that are a little bit more difficult to leave behind. Lying, though, all it took was a little bit of conscious, determined effort. And then I found the real me. There he was. It's always been there. Always been right in here. Always been with me. But I just couldn't see him because of all the fucking lies. So I know this is way beyond, anything about D&D, but maybe it gives you an idea of why I don't have people to play that with. As apparently, I kind of go all the way with some of these ideas. I do. I can take an idea all the way to the end of the hall of that idea. String? Is it a little lonely? Not really. Does it feel just a little bit sad and kind of pathetic seeing the way other people are? They're thinking they're so tough and rumble and all that, but then, they can't give up their precious little lies. Poor babies. God help them, because nobody else can, apparently. And they don't help themselves. That's how it is with a lot of people, I think. But it's none of my business. I've been working on myself a lot for a long time. And at some point, it just supercharged. I'm very grateful. I've been keeping myself small just so other people would be more comfortable with their precious lies. Poor babies. No. And if somebody walks around with guilt and shame in them, it's going to come out if they come around me. It comes out. So you don't need none of that. Guilt? For what? So guilt is like a tool. Some people will feel guilt and they will think, oh, I'm such a bad person. No, the people that you would actually call bad, they don't feel guilty for shit. But some people that feel guilt, they get locked in a feedback loop. And they will believe that they will never get out of that, so they just stay in it. But the power of the word is real. I mean, how many thousands of books are there, people talking about the power of the voice, the power of the inner voice, of imagination and belief? There's thousands of books. Not just going back to the early 1900s with Florence Scovel Shinn, Neville Goddard, Saint Germain. It's going way back further than that. 4,000 years, people have been saying it. It's etched in stone in Egypt. Why did they leave that out of the textbooks? Well, maybe they didn't want anybody to know. Ignorance are the parents of evil. Ignorance is a slave. Knowledge is freedom. Ignorance is bliss for some, but it was suffering for me. And I sought knowledge, and I found it. As it says in the Gospel of Thomas. Hi, my name's Thomas. As it says in the Gospel of Thomas, knock and the door will open. Seek and you will find. But once you find, you will be disturbed. But after you're disturbed, you will be astounded. I am. It's just a steady stream of that. Learning and learning and learning and learning. And it goes beyond what the normal person thinks is out there. You know, gotta take the kids to work. Gotta go to school. Gotta brush my eyes. Must lick my teeth. Just going on the same humdrum. Same humdrum, boring roller coaster. Some people think it's too much effort to think. But then they don't even like going to the jobs that they got. Weigh your options, you know. Think outside the box. Who made that box? Yeah, they said, and people are always saying to me like, no, you gotta stay in the box. Hey, no, you gotta stay in the box. You can't think outside the box. Well, I didn't know I was that tall until they said something. Oh, man, I could just step outside this fucking thing. Hey, no, you gotta stay in the box. I realized I was too big for that box, and I was squishing people. And I thought, shit, I actually do have to step outside this fucking box now. Somebody has to be a good example. It's kind of funny that I'm saying that because all last year I was posting such intense videos saying stuff I've never heard people say. Hardcore spiritual awakening. I had a good time. But then as I learned more and more, I was like, oh, I'm kind of being mean to these people. I mean, everything I put in those videos was with pure intention, with loving intent, but it did not always look like it. It got through to some people. Some people actually apologized to me, which I didn't need them to, because I didn't even need to forgive them, because I didn't blame them for being the way they are. Where does the blame train start? You know, did they learn how to be that way, you know, from their brother or sister or their parents or their parents' parents? And who's going to get off that bad feedback loop train first? Is it going to be them or their kids or their kids' kids or them? Because it obviously wasn't their parents, because damn, just look at them. The other day, somebody said, I think you're a prophet. Hey, now. You can just take that word and stick it back in the box. Now, hell, I guess I'll say this. I'll leave you with this. When I think of the word prophet, I think to me, it's attached to the word prophecy. But I don't see anything like that anymore. The way I see things, there ain't just one earth. And so that means where you focus is where you go. I'm still learning. I intend for it to stay that way. A student of the infinite forevermore. Sounds good. And oh boy, am I a lot happier knowing what I know now. People will try to fool you, try to sway you from what you feel. Like, I found this book, it's pretty interesting. They'll be like, oh, you don't need to be reading that. You're right. Words really do have power. Otherwise, nobody would give up on their hopes and dreams just because somebody called it stupid. I think I want to own a horse ranch one day. No, it'll never happen. Only 1 in a million people are smart enough to know about horses. And that ain't you. Oh. I guess I'll just work at the library or work at Walmart for 50 years. A lot of people, I actually worked at Walmart for about 6 months. I quit on Christmas Eve. They wanted us to stay into early Christmas Day. I was like, no. But yeah, a number of people I've spoken with who work or have worked at Walmart, they thought they were only going to be there for a minute, just like a couple of months or something, maybe a year or two. 20, 30, 40 years later, they're still working there. That's what happens when you settle. I will never settle for anything less than the absolute best, because I know I deserve the absolute best, and nobody can know that for me but me. People can tell me I deserve the best, but unless I believe it, it don't mean shit. I was not expecting to make such a long video. So yeah, I'm sure you can tell I don't talk about the normal things that other people talk about. So it's a little bit tricky interacting with others because they don't want to, most people don't want to hear none of this. A lot of people have settled and they like their sweet little lies. One of the biggest lies is, they settle into a job. Then, they settle into a job and they just keep life going and get into a relationship, have kids, and they just teach them the same things. And that's it. And it's not any of my business to disrupt that unless they ask for it. The Cheshire Cat on American McGee's Alice said, "Only a few find the way. Some don't recognize it when they do. Some don't ever want to." Yep, some don't ever want to. Well, since we're here, I'll leave you with this. I know I said that already, but oh hell. Well, I hope you haven't dropped your grain of salt. I'm gonna title the video that now. Don't drop your grain of salt. Well, some people say, YOLO, you only live once. Is that right? I see people go and come back and go and come back and go and come back like it's some kind of fucking field trip. This is not a field trip to me. I remembered why I came here. And I'm still remembering more and more. Yolfi, you only live for eternity. Unless you figure out something better to do. But first, you gotta learn enough to be able to know how to implement that idea. To disperse yourself amongst a vivid atmosphere, become the birds and the trees and the possums. Maybe just become a rock. Yeah, that doesn't sound very interesting. I bet you weren't expecting all of this. Hedgehog.